A torrential rain falls. Anyone caught in the rain, their whole body will slowly corrode away. Grandma and I hid in the old house's underground bunker, relying on each other to survive. But all the crops in the village died. The fish in the river floated up with their bellies exposed. Even the flat ground began to corrode. Not a blade of grass grew. Outside the village, more and more people fought for food. They acted like mutated zombies. Blood and bodies were everywhere. My grandma was a famous farmer in the village. She could predict the weather, providing planting advice to the villagers. It was planting season again. The villagers completely surrounded our house. Grandma, looking at this weather, when should we plant the wheat? To get a good harvest? She looked at the sky thoughtfully. She paused for a while before speaking. Wait a little longer. If you start planting in this weather, I'm afraid it will be a waste of seeds. Looking at the clear blue sky outside, everyone was very puzzled, but no one dared to speak up and argue. After all, Grandma could predict the weather. Her advice had brought everyone countless great harvests. Everyone gradually dispersed. But some small groups voiced different opinions. What's going on? Such good weather. And Grandma won't let us plant anything. Are you really going to listen to her? Is she more accurate than the weather forecast? If you listen to her, just wait to starve to death. People don't necessarily want what's best for us. There are plenty of sinister people out there. The one who said the last sentence was Granny Wang from the village entrance. I never liked her since I was little. She always had such a mean look. I was about to talk back, but Grandma stopped me with her hand. Mouths belong to others. Let her say whatever she wants. Grandma was always like this. Toward others' unkindness, she always ignored it and would just teach me with a smile. The sunny weather lasted for 3 days. Many villagers couldn't wait any longer, coming to ask Grandma if they could start planting. Grandma just said lightly, wait a little longer. 2 more days passed. Some villagers grew impatient and gradually started planting various crops. The one who planted the most was Granny Wang. She started early in the morning and didn't go home until dark, afraid she would lose out if she planted less. Aunt Lee from next door walked in smiling. Fanger, look, Auntie brought you some snacks. Aunt Lee had a son my age. Every time she bought snacks for her son, she would share some with me. Grandma didn't like taking advantage of people, so she always gave her back some fresh ingredients. Then, Aunt Lee asked Grandma about planting. Grandma replied, the weather has been a bit abnormal lately. It's better not to plant yet. I'm afraid the loss will outweigh the gain. Grandma added another sentence. Stock up on some food at home. After all, there are children in the house. They can't go hungry. Aunt Lee looked at Grandma's firm expression, not knowing if she believed it or not. Before leaving, she asked me again. Fanger, lately, you don't need to help Grandma with chores, do you? No, Grandma hasn't been farming lately. Hearing this, she finally left with peace of mind. I was confused and asked, "Why? Does everyone have to ask so many times?" Aunt Lee usually believes Grandma the most. But even she doesn't believe it today. Grandma told me very seriously. Human nature is like this. When you look out for them, they don't believe you. But when problems arise later, they will blame you for not warning them. Even though Grandma stopped farming, she wasn't idle for a single day. She planted a lot of vegetables in our backyard and then asked me to go to the market. For several days, we bought a lot of meat. If anyone asked, she told me to say I was growing and never had enough to eat. Then, all this meat was cured into various kinds of dried meat. Not only that, Grandma would also take advantage of the dark to take me to the back mountain to pick fruits and then preserve them. Grandma never hid things from people before. But this time, I felt she was deliberately avoiding Aunt Lee. Grandma and I patched up all the leaks and fixed the windows in the house. We even completely sealed the back door that faced Aunt Lee's house. Not long after, the air started to fill with a rotten, sour smell. People stood at the village entrance discussing it a bit. But no one really cared. But strange phenomena kept increasing. The air became extremely humid. Grandma's face was gloomy, muttering to herself, "It's finally here." Then she called out to me, "Fanger, come help me." I followed Grandma to the cabinet at the end of the room. "Help me push it open." As long as I can remember, that cabinet had always been there. It was said that Grandpa installed it for Grandma when he left to join the army. I pushed forward hard, but the cabinet didn't budge. I didn't know what kind of wood it was made of. I sighed. "This cabinet is like a boulder. The two of us can't push it. How about we call Aunt Lee and the others to help?" Grandma refused without a second thought. As we applied force again, the cabinet started to move slowly. With our relentless effort, the cabinet was completely pushed aside. Under the cabinet was a wide tunnel. "Grandchild, this is from the wartime. Your grandpa and the others dug this bunker to protect everyone. Before, it was used to defend against enemies. Now it's used to defend against our own people." I was confused. Is something bad going to happen? Grandma didn't answer. She told me to help her move the dried meat, preserved fruits and water down into the bunker, and warned me never to tell anyone else. The bunker was just like a normal room. It had a bed and lacked nothing. After packing everything away, Grandma sealed the entrance again. She looked up at the sky, her eyes very determined. This time, I will protect my grandchild even if it costs my life. That night, lightning and thunder raged. I was terrified the whole night. This rain continued for several days. The villagers who ignored Grandma's warning and rushed to plant their crops all regretted it. They all rushed over to our house to ask Grandma what to do. Grandma sighed and said she had no solution either. Granny Wang instantly got anxious and yelled at Grandma. Aren't you so capable? You definitely knew it would rain for days. Yet you didn't warn us. Damn it, you made me waste dozens of acres of good seeds. With Granny Wang making a fuss, others also started complaining. That's right, Grandma. We trusted you so much. And you didn't even watch out for us. I directly retorted. My grandma told you to wait. It's you who refused to believe her. The others stammered and couldn't speak. But Granny Wang was still self-righteous. If we don't plant, are we supposed to wait to starve? Besides, who knows if your grandma truly wishes us well? Anyway, if no one has a harvest this year, it's her dereliction of duty. Suddenly, An Li squeezed through the crowd. Heh heh heh. I was wondering whose dog was let out to bark wildly here. Turns out it's Granny Wang. Truly a dog biting the hand that feeds. Not knowing a good person's heart. The village's two big arguing titans clashed. Granny Wang's words lacked reason. And after losing to An Li, she slipped away in disgrace. When the crowd dispersed, An Li grabbed Grandma and asked, Grandma, when do you think this rain will stop? Grandma said, I can't tell for sure. It's up to the heavens. After An Li left, Grandma reminded me again. You cannot tell anyone about the bunker. Not even An Li. I was very confused. An Li clearly just helped us. She helped us. So of course we should thank her. Later, bring her a piece of dried meat. But don't say anything extra. Human hearts are unpredictable. We naturally cannot see through human nature. But you must always remember, at critical moments, you must survive even if you're alone. She was very serious when she said these words. My heart was filled with endless unease. The rain finally stopped. But after this rain, that rotten, sour smell permeated the whole village and couldn't dissipate for a long time. The sky cleared, but all the crops in the village were dead. The villagers began to complain endlessly. The village head saw that the situation was not right. So he traveled over mountains and waters overnight to gather information outside. It wasn't until the next night that the village head rushed back from the town. It turned out that many places had already experienced this acid rain corrosion. It was said that anyone caught in the acid rain, their body would be corroded away. And they might even mutate. Hearing this, everyone panicked. And they all went to the grocery stores to panic buy food. There were only 2 small stores in the village. One was run by Uncle Lin at the end of the village, and the other was Granny Wang's store at the village entrance. When Granny Wang heard the news, She wanted to close the store and hoard food for herself. But she was just a lonely old woman. No match for a group of doomsday fanatics. Her store was looted clean. Then everyone targeted Uncle Lin at the end of the village. Uncle Lin immediately stood at the door holding two cleavers. Let's see who dares to come in. This group of people was temporarily deterred and backed away repeatedly. The village head shouted himself hoarse but couldn't stop them. Many villagers packed their things and left the village overnight. But eventually, they all returned in dejection. Because air pollution was severe in towns and cities. The acid rain corrosion was even worse there. What was once a picturesque little village, overnight, became almost a barren wasteland of ruins. During the day, I wanted to follow the villagers to find food to hoard. But Grandma called me back home. Grandma firmly reinforced the doors and windows of the house and locked them tightly, leaving only a small peephole to observe outside. When I looked out, suddenly a large eyeball blocked the peephole. I retreated in fright. It's Anne Lee, Grandma said. Sure enough, Anne Lee spoke. Why did you seal all the doors and windows? Do you want to go out with me to find food? Grandma said, thanks for caring. Fanger and I wouldn't be able to compete with them out there. If we eat sparingly, we can hold on a bit longer. Seeing that we wouldn't open the door, Anne Lee peeked inside again and then left sensibly. I said to Grandma, Anne Lee's eyes just now were so terrifying. She shook her head. She is only just starting to test the waters. Later, when they start eating people, that's when it's truly terrifying. Just as we went inside to rest, a clap of thunder startled us. We hurried to get up and look outside. The acid rain was here again. The villagers outside, who were frantically fighting for food, screamed in agony as they were corroded by the rain. I looked at their eyes. Their skin was rotting and hanging off. Everyone was trembling in pain. Grandma sighed. This natural disaster, I'm afraid it will claim many lives. Sigh. After experiencing another torrential rain, the village truly became completely barren. Now even the soil smelled of rot. Most people had eaten all their hoarded food. They roamed the streets and alleys like bandits. If they saw a house with food, they would take it by force. In the past, everyone was so friendly. But now they burn, kill, and pillage, stopping at nothing. Uncle Lin's store doors and windows were locked tight. He stood guard at the door with his knives. Outside, a pack of hungry wolves used axes to smash the door open. They swarmed in and hacked Uncle Lin down in a pool of blood. More and more people joined the looting mob. They were like zombies, eating people and craving blood everywhere. Why haven't we seen the old woman? Could the two of them be dead in their house? I think they hid a lot of food, hiding in their house eating it all themselves. Right. The old woman definitely knew about this weather in advance. She must have hoarded food early on. Not surprisingly, their next target for looting was our house. The two of us hid in the bunker, holding knives and hiding behind the cabinet. The sound of them smashing the door outside grew more violent. It felt like in the next second, they would break down the door and enter. Suddenly, a heavy downpour started. The demons outside were drenched and scattered everywhere. Fleeing. This rain lasted for 2 days and 1 night. Grandma and I lived in the bunker. Half of our hoarded food was already eaten. We only dared to occasionally climb up to check the situation and get some fresh air. After days of acid rain attacks, many village houses were corroded and rotting. It was virtually indistinguishable from a deserted village. The villagers were either dead or injured. Some villagers outside went crazy, their faces mutilated beyond recognition. Who knows what kind of monsters they had been infected into? Grandma prayed to the sky. I begged the heavens to shield me for just 1 more day, and I can take my grandchild away. On the 3rd day, just as the rain stopped, the first one to rush over was Ann Lee. Grandma, are you two okay? Neither of us made a sound. Then came the sound of a door being smashed open. There's no food here at all. What a waste of time. Just as they were turning to leave, Ann Lee suddenly said, "Don't go." The grandma and grandchild never went out. They must still be inside now. They probably hoarded a lot of food. I looked at Grandma in disbelief, unable to believe that it was Ann Lee saying this. Grandma just sighed. Just as they were about to make a move, suddenly a voice came. "What are you doing?" It was the village head's voice. "We are starving right now. Whoever stops us from surviving, we'll fight them to the death. Give me 1 day. I will persuade Grandma and make her distribute the food to everyone. Otherwise, even if you smash the whole house, you won't find them." The village head spoke with great confidence. "Why should we believe you? If you want to waste your energy, go ahead and smash it. I can only say, you will definitely find nothing." The villagers finally gave the village head 1 night. The crowd dispersed one after another, heading off to attack other targets. It was quiet upstairs for a good while, before a cautious voice was heard. "Grandma, I know you're in there. Don't worry. The old company commander was extremely kind to me. I will not betray my benefactor. He tested the waters kindly. We don't have anything. I don't want your food. You don't need to come out either. I will stand guard here for you." After a long silence, Grandma spoke, "Village head. Tomorrow morning at 6. A car will pick us up at the village entrance to go to the shelter. Come with us. We will avoid the crowd and leave at M. Okay." Suddenly, Granny Wang and Ann Lee's voices came. "We want to go too." It turned out they had been hiding in the corner, secretly observing. "We want to go too. Otherwise I'll tell the others, and none of you will be able to leave." Even though she knew spots were limited, Grandma had no choice but to agree. After they all left, Grandma muttered, "I can die again." But my Fanger must live. It wasn't until night that I learned. Grandma was reborn. In her previous life, Grandma predicted the acid rain in advance. The villagers blamed Grandma for being a jinx. After the doomsday came, they robbed our family's food and hacked us to death at the door. Aunt Lee was the one who led them. She was actually the most vicious one of all. At M, Grandma and I came out of the bunker. Granny Wang and the others were already waiting in the house. We took our food and set off quietly just like that. Leaving the village required crossing mountains and ridges, which would take at least hours. Just as we stepped out the door, we ran into two middle-aged men wandering on the road. They looked like they had gone crazy. As we passed them, a hand suddenly grabbed my shoulder. I whipped my head around and saw a mutated, rotting face. I was trembling all over with fear. The village head beat them wildly with his hands. And then we quickly ran away. We had barely walked a quarter of the way when a man and a woman rushed over to steal the village head's food. One of them was holding a knife. They lunged at us like hungry wolves. Aunt Lee turned and ran. Granny Wang close behind her. Grandma took out her knife, ready to step forward. The village head shouted, "Hurry and go. If we get tangled up, none of us can leave. I can deal with them." Grandma gritted her teeth and ran with me as fast as she could. Grandma and I caught up with Granny Wang and Aunt Lee. Grandma said, "The village head saved us like this. We must escape. If we don't hurry out of the village, I'm afraid we won't make it in time." We walked for another hour and finally approached the village entrance. But the sky was gradually darkening. A heavy rain could fall at any time. Suddenly, Aunt Lee and her son grabbed our supplies and ran away. Grandma hurried to chase them. At this moment, acid rain started falling from the sky. We had absolutely nowhere to hide. Just then, Granny Wang suddenly hugged me, using her body to shield me from the acid rain. I looked at Granny Wang's face. Traces of time etched between her brows. It turned out that Granny Wang could also drop her child-eating expression one day. This rain came quickly and went quickly. It stopped in less than a few minutes. Grandma rushed back in a hurry. She stood beside me, checking me over and over. "Grandma, I'm fine." Granny Wang shielded me. Grandma looked at Granny Wang. "There's a small shack ahead. I'll help you change your clothes. This rain is very corrosive." Granny Wang said, "Don't bother. I'm not going anymore. I can't walk anymore." "What are you saying? You're giving up after making it this far? Just hold on for half an hour. We're almost there," Grandma said to her anxiously. Granny Wang just smiled. "I never actually planned on leaving. I've lived in this village for most of my life. Where else can I go? I just wanted you to take me up the mountain so I could spend my final moments with my son. Saying that, she took out a piece of candy for me. Bauer, there's no more food. This is the last piece. Eat it, Bauer, so your heart won't feel so bitter. Then she urged us to continue our journey. Grandma left all the food for Granny Wang. You must stay alive. We continued our journey. On the road, we saw the bodies of Anne Li and her son. They were already corroded beyond recognition. The downhill road finally ended. A car was parked right in front of us. We got into the car. The car kept driving. It wasn't until night that we arrived at the shelter. We lived there for over half a year. The acid rain finally became a thing of the past. Grandma brought me back to the village. From a distance, we saw Granny Wang standing at the village entrance. The village head limped out to welcome us.